Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Paige, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So Arrow is back in around a week and a half, roughly, or possibly exactly? Not quite sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about my mathematical skills. But we have the Birds of Prey-esque episode coming up, but something that has come out over the past week or so that has really taken over most talk when it does come to the show of Arrow is the news that Emily Bett-Rickards, who of course plays Felicity Smoak on the show, would actually be leaving at the end of this season, that being Season 7, and not returning in Season 8, even though it wouldn't surprise me if she showed up in the series finale. So episode 10 of next season, that is, but we will bring up that later on in the video when we discuss some finer details about the character and what's going on. So yeah, after that news broke, Beth Schwartz, the showrunner for Arrow this season as well as next season, talked a bit about Emily's decision to leave the role of Felicity Smoak at the end of this season. Now I'm pretty sure this was at some Writers Guild meeting or conference or something like that. So she was asked about how the departure will be handled, and Beth said that it is addressed at the end of this season, instead of like randomly bringing it up in the Season 8 premiere, which happens with these shows, you know, from time to time. Especially when someone leaves after shooting is done for that specific season, or if the producers of the show have like a change of heart, or just decide to change things up a bit with a certain character and decide they don't want to use them anymore. So an example to use with the Flash for both of these cases is, well, the first one is like Tom Felton, who played Julian Albert, might I say. He was going to be in Season 4 after first appearing in Season 3, but Tom took up a theatre gig between seasons and wasn't available for the first, I think, handful of episodes of the seasons, maybe like 2 or 3 episodes. So his character was actually just written out of the show. And then at the beginning of Season 4, they basically just said, oh, he went back to London. That's all we got. So you could just tell it was really just a quick decision. And with Tracy Brand, she wasn't actually, wanted in Season 4 after viewers didn't really love the character. Well, that's what's been reported as to like why she was scrapped for Season 4 when she was basically confirmed to return by the producers, I think, at the end of Season 3. Now, we will jump into how Felicity will leave in a second, but Beth did go on to say that they kind of knew that Emily wouldn't be back for Season 8 and that she would be leaving at the end of this season, which I sort of believe, but also don't believe either. Mainly because all of the cast seemed like super surprised at Emily's, or about Emily's announcement to leave the show. And it was also announced on a Saturday, which is like an incredibly random and odd day to make an announcement like this. So I think she might have mentioned wanting to do something, after the season, but she didn't really go in depth about it impacting the show, or at least her role in the show. That's what it seems like. Once again, it's just speculation. But you might be wondering, well, why is she leaving the show? Like, why is she leaving randomly at the end of Season 7? Why not just stick around for the last 10 episodes? And to start off, it isn't because she was getting like bullied online by other fans of Arrow or from other shows. I'm sure she would have got comments like that and seen them, but that isn't the reason for her departure. Trust me, if this was the sole reason, she would have left in Season 4. The real reason that Emily is actually leaving the role of Felicity is to take a role on Broadway. So Emily was in a theatre production in Vancouver, I think last year, between last season and this season of Arrow. She was the lead in that play. I'm not too sure how many people were in the play, but I know she's on the poster and she was the lead. And that production was called Reborning. And after being well received in the land of Canada, it's now heading to New York. Hey, I'm walking here. Okay, I'm sorry to anyone that is a New Yorker. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry for that terrible impression of like an angry pedestrian from the 1930s. But anyway, so that play starts on July 5th. And goes until August 3rd, so roughly a month. And for those that do know, Arrow and all the other CW DC TV shows based in Vancouver will start filming around July 10th, give or take a few days. They usually start filming around a week before Comic-Con, and Comic-Con starts on July 18th this year. So Emily would be gone for at least 2 episodes of filming with this play in New York. And I know some people will comment this, or maybe have already started to comment it, and it was something that sort of confused me because we had an example of it, only earlier this season on another DC TV show. But Melissa Benoist did a massive show on Broadway that cut into her Supergirl filming time, which resulted in the show filming, I think it was like episode 3 or 4 first or something like that. so they could work around her absence. So with Emily, sure, she couldn't be in episodes 1 or 2, but she could be in the others, so why isn't she? And well, I'm guessing that's just her decision. Like, maybe she understands and is sort of taking advantage of the fact that she isn't like the lead of the show and isn't that vital, unlike Melissa to the Supergirl role. Supergirl needs Melissa Benoist. She is Supergirl. It doesn't work without her, obviously, but with Arrow, sure, she is the leading female on the show now, but the show doesn't stumble without her. I know some Felicity fans might get mad about that, but these shows are really set up where really the only character that matters for the most part is the title character. So Flash, Green Arrow, Supergirl, stuff like that, which is evident in episodes on the shows when that title character isn't the focus. So that episode where they're not the focus, or those episodes, well, they ain't that good, or aren't as good as an episode focused on that title character. Hopefully you all understand like what I'm getting at there, because sometimes I just speak gibberish without even noticing. Now, there is another possible reason or factor for Emily leaving, and that is that in the past, and I think just recently, maybe in like the off season between last season and this season, Emily has talked about how she didn't want Felicity to get pregnant on the show. And well, we know exactly what went down this season. That's what happened. She got pregnant. So there is a possibility that this maybe did annoy her and could have played into her decision to like not come back and, play out a pregnancy and like birth storyline next season, which basically that's what her storyline would have been, even after returning from her theater role. And for those that are unaware, in most cases, in mainly TV, but also movies, when, where it can feel forced, making a woman get pregnant just for plot reasons can be fairly insulting, especially when it's done instead of giving that character a proper storyline or story arc. This is sort of the main reason I don't want Iris to get pregnant on The Flash, with the secondary reason being that dealing with kids on a show, especially a superhero show, it's not good. It's fairly messy. And this is why if you actually do like Iris as a character and aren't just a random shipper, it's why you shouldn't want her to get pregnant on the show either. But in regards to how and why Felicity leaves, I think that is pretty obvious, as we had that Star City 2040 episode a few weeks back where they showed us where Felicity goes, that like hut or cabin in Bloomfield. I think that was I think that's what the town was called. And we know she stays there through like Mia's upbringing and all of that. So she will leave in the finale, and the cast have teased at the ending of this season as sort of like a big like holy crap WTF moment, which could possibly be that something massive with the Ninth Circle goes down and maybe Star City goes to crap, which could lead to Felicity leaving for not only her safety but also the safety of the baby as well. It will be interesting to see how her exit is handled, because the news of her leaving came out like a week after Beth Schwartz posted the script cover on Twitter. So if she didn't make up her mind until maybe 5 days to a week after that, they will most likely have to rewrite her part in the finale to the point where it leads to her exit from the show. So it could possibly be messy, but I don't think it's that big of a change where it would be too noticeable. Like, they just have to say, like, instead of Felicity ending at this point in the season, they go, okay, we need you to leave the city for your safety. Something along those lines. But I guess we'll have to wait and see in regards to that, I guess, when the finale finally airs. But one of the things that will be very interesting to see is what happens to, her future self. Future Felicity is now a thing in the Flash Forwards, and they will be continuing those next season. So what would they do, with her? She can't just go and hide in a cabin in the woods again in the future like she's going to do in the present day. So is there a big chance they might actually kill Felicity off in some big moment in the future? Maybe she sacrifices herself for Mia or something like that? I was actually surprised she made it out of that Star City 2040 episode alive, just due to the fact that I didn't think they would be able to put Emily in both the present day and future stuff. But obviously they won't have to worry about that for too much longer. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what they do with her in regards to that part of the show. If anything, that could be the messiest part around her exit, just the stuff in the future. Now, Smoak Tech has been a big talking point since this news, as, well, if she goes to this cabin in the woods and is there, is there through like Mia's upbringing, are we legitimately meant to believe that Smoak Tech becomes this big thing later on? And yes, I know that Alina character is now on the show to really just like build Smoak Tech while Felicity is doing Team Arrow stuff. But no matter how much you want Smoak Tech to happen, I personally don't think that makes too much sense that it could become that big. I could easily see it becoming successful, but that big? That's some like Apartment 4 level mystery conspiracy stuff going on there. But here is the big question. Will Felicity ever come back on the show? And I think the simple answer to that is Yes, in the series finale. I would be so surprised, actually shocked, if she didn't show up for a decent role in the finale for Arrow next season. We know we should get a scene next season with Mia being born with Oliver being present, but they could just use the footage from this season from the Star City 2040 episode. I'm sure they shot a bit more than what was shown in the episode, just, well, because. So I would probably just expect reuse of that footage and other stuff, but yeah, in the finale, I'd be very surprised if she wasn't in a decent amount or most of that episode. But I guess the way in which Felicity returns that most people are predicting is that she will show up to Oliver's funeral. So Oliver will die in episode 9, the Crisis on Infinite Earths episode, and then episode 10, there'll be like a big dedication and like greatest hits moment episode, if you want to call it, which will feature a funeral where we will see all of the characters from the other shows in attendance, possibly in their costumes, which would be pretty cool, not gonna lie. But yeah, that would be how Felicity will make her final appearance on the show. Obviously, we don't know that Oliver will die in Crisis, it's not 100% confirmed, but it is the option that most people do see playing out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. We've only got, as I said, just over a week until Arrow's back, so get your hype up. Leave all your various opinions and stuff like that in the comment section down below. How do you think they're going to handle the Felicity exit? Do you think she'll show up in the series finale next season? Let me know all of those opinions down there in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.